Intro music. You probably spent 8 hours at your desk today. Beat. But statistically speaking, you only spent about 2.5 of those hours actually doing the job you were hired for.
Yeah, that is a pretty staggering reality, for most of us.
The rest of your day was likely swallowed up. Formatting slide decks, summarizing long meetings, hunting for that one PDF you lost in your chaotic downloads folder.
Right, and you step away from your screen at 6 in the evening. You are completely exhausted. But you have this heavy realization that you did not actually finish anything important.
You are just surviving the workload.
Exactly. You are trapped doing manual, repetitive tasks that just drain your cognitive energy.
So today, we are taking those 5 lost hours back. We're doing a deep dive into how to hand off that daily busy work to machines. And you do not need to be a tech expert to do this.
You do not even need a budget, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The free tiers of these tools are incredibly powerful right now. This is not about working harder.
It is entirely about working smarter.
Mm-hmm. The true value here is reducing your baseline stress level, clearing out mental space for actual strategic thinking, and, just getting home to your family on time.
We are going to walk through 8 specific AI tools today. We will explain exactly how they work under the hood, how they connect to your daily workflow, and the exact commands to use.
We are basically stacking Lego blocks of data, building them up one by one.
From gathering information to surviving meetings to presenting ideas. Beat. Let us start with the first massive bottleneck in any job, information overload.
Oh, absolutely.
Before you can execute a project, you have to gather facts. But staring at a blank search bar or a mountain of dense market reports, it is paralyzing.
That is where most professionals lose hours of their week, and that happens before the real work even begins.
So let us look at our first tool, Perplexity. I used to just think of it as a fancy search engine, but it is fundamentally different. It is an answer engine.
That is the perfect distinction. It skips the SEO-optimized junk links entirely.
How does it actually do that?
Well, you have to look at its underlying architecture. It operates in 3 distinct phases. First is data retrieval.
Meaning it crawls the live internet. It does not rely on outdated training data.
Exactly. It pulls fresh data. Then it moves to the second phase, which is knowledge verification. It acts like a brutal editor. It cross-references claims across multiple sites to find the factual consensus.
And then it explains that consensus to you in plain English.
Right, using natural language generation.
And here is where it solves the trust issue. Every single claim it makes features a small, clickable number.
Mm-hmm. That links directly back to a verified authoritative source, like DPS Media or Research and Markets. It completely removes the need for you to spend 20 minutes fact-checking the AI.
The proof is literally right there in the text.
Yeah, and you can use a feature called ProSearch for complex problems. It actually pauses and asks you clarifying questions before it searches.
You can also organize your ongoing research into collections,
which seamlessly embeds this into your workflow. Say you need to prep for a strategy meeting. You just tell it to find the 5 newest technology trends in the retail industry in Vietnam for 2026.
And you tell it to only use trusted market reports, explicitly listing the sources.
You get a highly reliable brief in 10 seconds. You save hours of reading.
So Perplexity searches the external world, but what about your internal world? Beat. Think of your messy Google Drive like a disorganized evidence board in a detective movie.
I love that analogy.
Notebook LM is the brilliant detective stringing red yarn between your documents.
Notebook LM is essentially Google's smart second brain. It is designed entirely for your private files.
You can upload up to 50 different sources into a single notebook.
Right.
PDFs, web links, your own messy meeting notes. But how does it actually make sense of it all?
It uses semantic mapping. It connects concepts by their actual meaning, not exact word matches.
Right.
So it finds hidden connections between a January sales report and an October client email, synthesizing them into a totally new insight.
And it has this feature called Audio Overview that is, frankly, mind-blowing. It turns your dry notes into a dynamic 2-voice radio show discussion.
You can listen to an entertaining breakdown of your spreadsheets while cooking dinner. It saves your eyes from screen fatigue.
And you guide it with specific commands. You upload 5 massive articles about market trends. You tell it to list the 3 biggest opportunities for small businesses next year.
And extract 2 specific risks to prepare for right now.
Now, if Notebook LM is reading 50 messy PDFs, how does it know which document is actually accurate if they contradict each other?
It weighs the frequency of claims across your specific dataset. It basically highlights the strongest internal consensus.
Ah, so it cross-references internal consensus and spots anomalies.
Right, exactly.
From 2-sec silence.
So our research is handled. We'll take a very quick break here. sponsor. And we are back, moving on to the daily workflow itself, the inescapable daily grind.
The next massive time sink is sitting through meetings or trying to learn new software from long tutorials. I will make a vulnerable admission here. I still deeply wrestle with zoning out during those hour-long project updates myself. I try to listen, but taking manual notes on a Zoom call splits my attention completely.
It is a massive cognitive load.
Yeah,
You're trying to act as a stenographer, which means you miss the subtle human nuance of the conversation.
that is exactly where Otter AI comes in. It essentially functions as your dedicated executive assistant. It joins your meetings automatically.
Yes, it transcribes the conversation with high accuracy, and it uses speaker diarization.
Which is just a technical way of saying it identifies exactly who is speaking.
Right. It tags them by name. You connect it to your Google or Outlook calendar so it auto-joins. It even connects to Slack to drop a summary the moment the call ends.
The free plan does have a constraint, though. There is a 30-minute limit per call.
True. But the easy workaround is turning the recording off and instantly back on again, just to keep going if your meeting runs long.
So instead of scrambling to type, you wait for the call to end. You command Otter to summarize the 3 most important strategic decisions.
And list all action items with the person in charge and the deadline. It instantly creates accountability.
Then we have Google Gemini. This is crucial for anyone already living in the Google ecosystem. It integrates directly into your Docs, your Gmail, and your Drive.
When using Gemini, you really want to make sure you are utilizing the Flash model.
Why is the Flash model so important there?
It is about the context window.
Yeah.
That is the amount of text the AI can remember at once. The Flash model is designed to process massive amounts of information incredibly fast, millions of tokens.
It handles long documents without forgetting the beginning of your text.
Yeah.
It does not get tired.
Exactly. It also features a deep research mode that hunts for trusted facts. But for me, the real magic is the YouTube video summary feature.
Oh, that is a total game changer for learning new skills. You paste the link of a 60-minute software tutorial into Gemini. It literally watches the video for you.
It provides exact timestamps and extracts the main points. You bypass the sponsor reads and the small talk completely.
You make it actionable. You paste that YouTube link and tell Gemini to extract 5 advanced Excel techniques.
Then take your pasted messy notes and map those techniques onto a professional weekly work plan.
It turns a passive video into an active workflow. But I need to ask you about a real concern here. If Otter AI takes my meeting notes and Gemini watches my tutorials, am I just going to zone out completely?
It is a totally valid fear.
Ah.
But the psychology actually points the other way.
How so?
Well, these tools handle the raw data capture. Because you offload that specific cognitive burden, your brain is freed up to be deeply present.
You focus on the tone of your client's voice.
Yeah. You are not stressing about spelling a deadline correctly, though, Otter does sometimes hallucinate jargon, so always verify technical terms.
So we offload the transcription to stay mentally present.
Exactly. You regain your focus.
2-sec silence. Okay, we have gathered our research, we have survived our meetings. Now comes the hard part. We have to create something.
The dreaded blank page syndrome. Writing from scratch is intimidating, especially for a massive strategy document or a sensitive client email.
This is where Claude really shines. Among all the AI models, Claude is famous for avoiding distinct robotic feeling.
It is naturally humble. It is remarkably clear. It completely avoids bloated corporate buzzwords.
It feels distinctly human, and that is largely due to its RLHF training.
Right. Reinforcement learning from human feedback. It prioritizes helpful interactions over rigid encyclopedic text.
And you can actually train it on your own personal style.
Yes, which is crucial for protecting your personal brand. You feed Claude a few of your old successful articles.
It analyzes your vocabulary to perfectly mirror your specific tone.
It also features an interface element called Artifacts. It is a dynamic visual workspace right next to your chat window.
So you are not just looking at a wall of text. You see visual charts or simple website layouts rendering in real time.
But that human tone is the real superpower. Think of Claude as your emotional intelligence coach.
You ask it to rate a LinkedIn post about hard lessons from a project failure.
Using a humble, honest tone based on your sample writing. No aggressive sales jargon.
It is brilliant for navigating sensitive communication, like apologizing to a key partner.
Or politely saying no to a demanding client without burning the bridge.
Then we shift over to ChatGPT. Specifically, the GPT-5 Canvas mode, because this solves a massive annoyance.
The endless, messy copy-pasting back and forth
Hmm.
from the chat window to your Word document.
Right. When you log into ChatGPT, there is a tiny drop-down menu at the top. If you switch that to Canvas mode, the interface splits in half.
It creates a side-by-side collaborative workspace. You have the conversational chat on one side.
And a live, editable document or code base on the other. You do not have to rewrite entire paragraphs.
You just highlight one specific awkward sentence in the document and command the AI directly.
You tell it to make this specific line a bit funnier, or expand on a single point.
It keeps you in the flow state entirely. You actively co-author the draft. You tell it to write a comprehensive guide on personal finance.
Add catchy subheadings and run a full spelling check. But wait, let me ask a critical question. Is this going to entirely replace human writers anytime soon?
No, but it severely elevates the baseline expectation for everyday business writing speed and clarity.
Got it. It raises the baseline for speed and clarity.
Right, the floor is higher now.
2-sec silence. So the text is beautifully written. Now we present it to the boss, which usually means wasting 3 hours dragging tiny text boxes around a screen.
And endlessly searching for decent stock photos.
Enter Gamma. Gamma is an absolute lifesaver if you suffer from design fatigue.
You simply type in a short, natural language description of what you need.
The AI instantly generates the written content, sources the imagery, and builds the layouts.
The best part is the direct voice editing. You do not hunt through complex design menus. You act like a creative director.
You literally tell the prompt bar to make the slide look more modern, or change a bulleted list into a visual timeline.
The changes ripple through the presentation right before your eyes.
You can prompt it to create an 8-slide pitch deck for a new running shoe. Focus on lightweight materials and competitive pricing.
Use an energetic, athletic green and white color palette.
If you use the free plan, it puts a small Gamma logo on the slides, but you just export the deck to PowerPoint.
Then upload it into Canva, cover up the watermark, and fine-tune the assets.
Finally, we have to talk about Google AI Studio. This is a free experimental lab for cutting-edge image and video creation. Whoa, honestly, imagine the sheer compute power required to run this infrastructure for millions of people for free.
It is staggering.
Right.
Google gives away enterprise-level power here, and it has two massive features. The first is character and facial consistency.
Keeping your face exactly the same across a dozen different AI-generated images.
Yes, historically, AI image generators scramble your facial features every single time. AI Studio anchors your specific facial landmarks.
The mathematical geometry of your eyes, nose, and jaw.
So you build a consistent personal brand. You just upload a quick selfie.
You prompt it to keep your face and hair the same, but change your clothes to a professional gray blazer.
And change the background to a brightly lit, modern architectural library. It completely saves you from hiring a brand photographer.
The second major feature is live screen feedback, or stream. The AI utilizes your webcam and literally looks at your computer screen.
It spots visual errors in your slide design or catches bugs in your code. Real-time feedback before you send the file.
Hold on, I have to stop and ask the obvious question here. If Gamma designs our slides and AI Studio puts us in fake gray blazers, aren't we just entering a corporate uncanny valley?
It is a totally fair pushback. The polish can feel slightly artificial at first.
If I receive a flawless pitch deck, I might actually trust it less, because I know a machine did all the heavy lifting.
But you have to remember that the true value here is not aesthetic perfection. The value is the time saved.
Because you do not stay up until 2 a.m. fixing stray pixels.
You spend that energy refining the actual persuasive message of your presentation.
So the real value is freeing time to refine the core message.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Packaging versus substance.
2-sec silence. Let us unpack this whole journey. We covered 8 different tools today. From gathering verified facts with Perplexity to surviving long meetings with Otter.
Drafting sensitive emails with Claude to generating beautiful pitch decks with Gamma. Learning to orchestrate these tools is a fundamental survival skill.
But the absolute key here is patience. Please do not try to master all 8 of these tonight.
You will just overwhelm yourself. Pick the single tool that solves your most painful headache right now. Start with one Lego block.
But this raises a much larger, somewhat philosophical question, something I really want you to mull over after you turn this deep dive off. If artificial intelligence eventually takes over all the manual busy work, what does work actually mean for us moving forward?
It is a profound structural shift. We are moving away from an economy of effort to an economy of judgment.
The future of your career will not be about how incredibly fast you can type, or your ability to memorize Excel formulas.
It will be entirely about your unique human taste, your strategic decision-making, your hard-earned empathy.
When machines can do all the heavy lifting, your core humanity actually becomes your most valuable professional asset.
It functionally gives you the ultimate luxury. Time. More time for yourself. More time for the passions you have been neglecting.
Think back to that heavy, draining feeling at 6 in the evening, that deep exhaustion from being incredibly busy all day but not actually productive. You do not have to live in that cycle anymore.
Choose your first virtual assistant today. Step away from the manual labor.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us. Outro music.